Welcome to Excelsior Springs, home of the Tigers. Throughout this video, you will hear voices from student, staff, and community member representatives of our town. We hope that you might just change your mind and get a real insight on what it means to be a Tiger.
To me, I never lived here, but I taught here my whole career, and it's always been something that's been near and dear to my heart. I love the fact that it's a blue-collar town, and the people here are like one extended family. Like a family, they love each other, and they also hate each other at different times, but they always rally on the big things, the big issues. They come together, and in the end, they make their dreams come true.
We have amazing students at ESHS, and one of the primary goals of our class is really to empower them and to help them see that they can do amazing things and that they can help change the world that we live in for the better. And so through this process, that was our goal. Our number one goal was to help them feel the empowerment through providing them with experiences that would give them perspective, but would also enable them to produce something that they would be proud of and would be able to show their community in a positive and meaningful way.
You see, here at Excelsior Springs, we have a lot to be proud of. We are a community surrounded by students who want to achieve greater things and take a lot of pride in their community. They are students who work tirelessly to change the perception of what Excelsior Springs is. You see, from the outside, we've heard a lot of different things about us. We've heard that, we're poor or trash. A lot of synonyms actually that go along with trash. And from those of us that live in the community and are from the community, we don't take that lightly. We don't like that perception. We don't want people to think of us in such a negative way because we don't think of ourselves like that because it simply isn't true. So for this project, the facilitators and I got together and decided we wanted to do something to change the perception of our students in our community to make things a little bit more positive. And part of that was to partner up our students with students from other schools in the surrounding area, schools in which they tend to compare themselves to. So we got with Liberty North with the help of Ryan Dom to meet with some of his students to see what are things like in Liberty North compared to that of Excelsior Springs. We also got with Platte County High School, and we talked with Hillary Kisker and her freshman class because we had a connection with her through one of our co-facilitators, Ethan McLean, to find out what are things like at Platte County compared to Excelsior Springs. Then we also reached out to Ruskin High School and one of the teachers that used to work here, Kim Foster, to find out what are things like from the perspective of a school that's in the inner city. Then I reached out to one of my friends, Ashlyn Owensby, who now works at Lee Summit West High School, to get in contact with some of her students, and it was interesting because some of her students actually have connections to Excelsior Springs. We also reached out to Winnetonka High School and Laura Recheck, who was somebody that I went to school with in grad school, to connect with her students to get a wider perspective of their community in comparison to our own. And then we reached out to Excelsior alumni Rachel Foster, who works for Lee A. Tolbert Academy in Kansas City, and she's working on her students becoming entrepreneurs. So we thought that would present a unique perspective as well. And finally, we reached out to North Kansas City High School, and we talked to Paul Aubrey and got with some of his students, and they all varied in age and range. Again, to get their perspective, what are things like in North Kansas City? What do we think of them? What do they think of us? For this idea of, if you really knew us, here's what you would know. So this is a teenage perspective of Excelsior Springs.
This project that we're doing is it's giving our kids the ability to go out and talk to other schools and see that even though maybe Excelsior's not perfect, they'll see that it's still a fantastic place, and they don't have to keep comparing it to other places and thinking that place is so much better. And they can see, hey, every place has its flaws, every place is great, and that they can embrace Excelsior and really love this town for what it is.
This class that we don't get in other classes is the communication and getting ready for the real world, like working outside of our school and really getting to realize our little flaws that our school has.
Another authentic opportunity we provided to students was to have them interview people from the outside. And we thought, what better people for them to interview than former teachers, people who understand high schoolers and teenagers. So we were fortunate enough to have Tom Mayfield, Gail Smith, John Schindler, Les Odell, Susie Hevelo, and Anita Mayfield come into our high school for our students to interview them about their life and to get some more background and history onto who these people were, and also part of how history has influenced judgment.
We are honorable. This was without a doubt a difficult project for our students. And I think at different times they really struggled with handling real world situations of trying to communicate with others and trying to set up and establish meeting times, trying to really gain an appreciation for group work and collaboration. But in the end, I think it was those challenges that broadened their horizons in a way and made them grow as people and as students and really brought forth the result that we were hoping to see them gain from this experience.
About Excelsior Springs High School is it's a pretty good school, and the teachers try really hard, and most of them are really nice to you, and they try to get you the work done, and they just try your best to help. A thing maybe we could work on is more one-to-one, one-on-one stuff. It's overall it's a good school, and I think it's better than most places. I would rather be here than any other place.
We are strong! Excelsior Springs is a really pretty town. The parts we could change about it is our downtown is very trashy. We could pick it up and make it nicer. Our school district is trying to get everybody involved, and there's just kids who aren't about it, and we need to try and get them about it. Overall, I think Excelsior Springs could be a great town if people would be more involved in our community and picking up trash on the roadways and not worrying about just ourselves.
What I love about being a Tiger are the relationships that you make with the other staff and with the students. When I came here 6 years ago, I didn't know anybody other than a couple people, and it felt like I was instantly part of their family.
So, Excelsior it's a pretty good town, but whenever people think about Excelsior, they're morally towards drugs and drug abuse and the way that people use drugs in Excelsior. But if you actually live here for most of your life and you actually get to experience the Excelsior life, then you would know that Excelsior is actually a good town, that there's good people inside of it, kind people, things that actually care in this town.
We are determined!
This project changed my perspective on the ways I think about school, because I saw young children have hard outside lives, but when they come to school, they really love their education and they take it really seriously.
Is a really strong community, and I think we all to some degree know each other, and I don't know, that could be because if it's a small town or just because that's how Excelsior is, and I'd like to believe that that's just how Excelsior is. We're all close, more or less, and we know each other. I personally have been associated with Excelsior for my whole life, and then my family goes back a little bit, a couple of generations, and so it's just, I feel really connected to the town and everyone in it.
It means to be a Tiger to me. It means to be part of a family, but it also means to be innovative, to be creative, to take new risks. We do a lot of amazing, cool, unique things at the school that nobody else gets to try, and I think that's super, super amazing.
This project it's not the typical English project that you get. It's not just here write an essay or here let's make a slideshow. It's something that you have to work with other people, and it kind of makes us closer as a school because we're realizing all these things and trying to figure out something we can do to make the school better and all of us closer. And you get to work outside the school, which is also really cool because you're getting to see what other schools are like and how we're similar and different.
As a resident of Excelsior Springs, I've chosen to live here all but about a year and a half of my life, and the perception that we've had throughout the other communities is that we're kind of a poor community, but I don't really think that's true any longer. You can see the growth in the downtown area. Our expansion to the west of Excelsior Springs, our middle school has more students now than it has ever had, and at the high school level we're doing a lot of exciting things with our curriculum and our sports teams and all that stuff that's going on good now. So I think the perception has really changed. I've seen it at the very low point back in the early 70s, mid 70s, and now it is a much different community now than it was then with our growth, and I'm looking forward to exciting things to come in the next few years here in Excelsior Springs.
One of the most exciting parts of this whole project was the fact that our kids were incredibly excited from the very first day. I know there was a lot of apprehension, and a lot of them were a little concerned about what it was going to look like and how they were going to finish it. But in the end, they were genuinely excited to talk to students in other parts of Kansas City and to learn from their experiences and to share theirs. And I think we don't give our students enough credit. We don't enable them and empower them to take risks and reach out and show that they are incredibly powerful, incredibly bright, and incredibly motivated people that are going to lead our society to measurable change.
We are Excelsior Springs!